I came to LA and I was supposed to finish my album after Enough.
No one is talking about this enough. Cardi B just admitted that her divorce from Offset left her in the darkest place of her life. She was so broken, so shattered, that she couldn't even bring herself to record music. She canceled studio sessions in Los Angeles. She stayed home crying, and at times, she confessed, she couldn't even look at her children without breaking down in tears. But wait until you hear what happened next, because NFL star Stefon Diggs entered the picture with a phrase so simple, so powerful, that it may have changed Cardi's life forever. Stick around and watch the clip to see what is going on. You will not believe how this story unfolds. And before we dive deeper, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the dramatic twists in the world of celebrity news.
I came to LA and I was supposed to finish my album after Enough. I had 2 months and we had to cancel everything because I was so depressed that I couldn't record, and we was out here for like 2 weeks and I just couldn't record, like, cause I barely recorded anything because I couldn't even stop crying. And for some reason, every time I see a mic, I'm just crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. Like, cause I really get in those moods that I just can't do nothing. Like, my feelings and my heart really cripples me. Not my kids, not my children. Like, a situation could really, like, cripple my mind, and I just can't focus. I can't think until, like, I'm really over the situation. It's the weirdest thing.
How did you come out of that? Because it's a lot of people who will watch this who are women, young women, and that word itself is, you know what I mean, is suppressed emotions. How did you come out of that? And how long did it last, if you feel like being that specific? How long did that last?
I don't know. Like, all right, so there is, like, this is weird, but there is different heartbreaks. Like, there's certain heartbreaks or there's certain disappointments that it just don't really hurt as much as others. I have been hurt and I've been disappointed and I've been disrespected, and I kind of get over it like in 5 days, a week. It hurts, but then I be over it and I be back to it, and it's like, whatever, back to my this, back to my that. But when it was finishing, like last year, when I just, it was finishing, it was for months.
Why didn't you call me?
Because it was nothing that nobody could say.
Okay.
Like, I even talked to Shakira and I was like, how do you get over this funk? And she was like, it takes time, but it's like, it almost felt like whatever people experience when they going through, like, withdrawal and, like, they're throwing.
Cardi's split from Offset was finalized in 2024, and for fans who have followed their roller coaster romance since day one, this wasn't just another celebrity breakup. It was the end of an era. After years of headlines filled with cheating scandals, reconciliations, and public fights, Cardi B finally said enough was enough. But what fans didn't know until now was just how much that decision crushed her behind closed doors. In a candid interview, Cardi admitted she felt paralyzed by the pain. She would book studio sessions, fly out to Los Angeles, and then cancel at the last minute because she couldn't stop crying. She described sitting in her car outside the studio, staring at the building, unable to step inside. The thought of writing lyrics or recording music felt impossible when her heart was bleeding. And when it came to her children, things only got harder. Cardi said there were moments when she couldn't even look at her kids without tears filling her eyes. Imagine the guilt she must have felt, not being able to show up for them emotionally while also trying to process her own grief. This wasn't the fierce, confident Cardi B the world was used to seeing on stage. This was a woman broken to her core. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Because just when Cardi was at her lowest, someone unexpected reached out. Stefon Diggs, NFL superstar, and now Cardi's rumored new flame. While the world was watching Cardi fall apart, Diggs stepped into the picture with a message that would change everything. His words? "Let me heal you." It sounds almost unreal, doesn't it? But those 4 words became the spark Cardi needed to start picking herself up again. For the first time in months, she allowed herself to hope. To imagine a future where she could not only survive her heartbreak, but thrive beyond it. And it wasn't about Diggs swooping in as some savior. It was about someone finally reminding her that she deserved love, care, and peace. The timing of it all couldn't have been more dramatic. Cardi was also in the middle of preparing for her long-awaited sophomore album, Am I the Drama? A project fans feared would never see the light of day because of her depression. But after Diggs' words, everything shifted. Slowly, Cardi found herself returning to the studio. She started writing again, pouring her emotions into her music. Now, imagine the symbolism of it all. Cardi B, standing in front of the mic, voice shaking but steady, recording lyrics about pain, betrayal, and healing, all while holding on to the phrase Diggs gave her. Let me heal you. That became more than a message. It became a mission. And fans began to notice the change. Cardi's energy online shifted. Her interviews had more spark. And when Diggs was spotted leaving her side in Los Angeles, rumors exploded. Were they really together? Was this the man who helped Cardi climb out of her lowest valley? Or was it just coincidence? As Cardi B slowly began to emerge from the fog of heartbreak, one name kept popping up again and again: Stefon Diggs. To the casual fan, Diggs was just another NFL superstar, a wide receiver known for his explosive plays on the field. But for those who were paying attention, his presence in Cardi's story was far from accidental. It all started with whispers online. Paparazzi caught Cardi in Los Angeles, stepping out of a black SUV late at night, with Stefon Diggs just a few steps behind her. At first, people brushed it off. Maybe it was business, maybe they were friends, maybe it was nothing. But then came the Instagram activity. Diggs began leaving subtle comments on Cardi's posts. Nothing too obvious, but just enough to get people talking. And then that fateful comment, "Let me heal you." Fans went wild. Screenshots spread across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram like wildfire. Some said it was just a kind gesture. Others swore it was proof of a budding romance. But here's where things get even more interesting. Cardi didn't deny it. In fact, she leaned into it. She started liking Diggs' posts, sharing motivational captions that seemed eerily aligned with his. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from Cardi the heartbroken divorcee to Cardi the woman finding strength again. And the fans? They were divided. Some cheered her on, saying, "Yes, Queen, let yourself be loved again." Others worried it was too soon. They questioned whether Diggs was truly the right man to help Cardi heal, or if this was just a rebound masking as a love story. But regardless of the speculation, one thing was clear. Cardi had found a source of comfort, and it was changing her energy in real time. Behind the scenes, people close to Cardi revealed something even more telling. They said Diggs wasn't just showing up in public, he was showing up in private too. He was there during her canceled studio sessions, encouraging her to try again. He reminded her that pain didn't have to stop her from creating, that music could be her way back to herself. He didn't pressure her, he didn't demand. He simply stood by her side and reminded her she was capable. Think about how powerful that is. For months, Cardi had been stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and despair. Then along comes someone who doesn't try to fix her, but instead says, "Let me heal you," meaning let me walk beside you while you heal yourself. That's not just romance, that's partnership. That's emotional intelligence. That's something Offset, according to fans, never seemed to offer. But here's where the drama escalates. Because as Cardi began to stand taller, rumors spread faster. Blogs picked up the story, headlines screamed about Cardi and Stefon's secret romance, and Offset's name inevitably re-entered the conversation. People started asking, how does Offset feel about all this? After all, this wasn't just some random man. This was an NFL star with just as much fame and attention as Cardi herself. Some insiders claimed Offset was furious, while others said he had already moved on. But the truth? We may never know. What we do know is that Cardi wasn't hiding anymore. She showed up to the studio. She posted more selfies. She laughed more online. The glow was back and fans could see it. And whether it was because of Diggs, her own resilience, or a mix of both, Cardi was finally fighting her way out of the storm. And just when fans thought things couldn't get more dramatic, Cardi dropped a bombshell. Her upcoming album, Am I the Drama?, was officially on the way. A project once delayed by heartbreak was now fueled by it. And guess who was standing in the shadows clapping the loudest? You guessed it, Stefon Diggs. When Cardi B first whispered that magical phrase Stefon Diggs had said to her, "Let me heal you," many fans thought it was just a sweet line, nothing more. But those who paid close attention realized it was much deeper than that. Because what followed wasn't just casual flirtation, it was a slow, steady transformation. Cardi began appearing more confident, more playful, and dare we say, even happier. On Instagram Live, she laughed more freely, she engaged with fans more often, and she even teased snippets of new music that sounded sharper, bolder, more unapologetic than ever before. For a woman who just months earlier admitted she couldn't even step into a studio without crying, this was a massive shift. And many credited Stefon for being the spark behind that change. Now here's where things get juicy. While Cardi was opening up in interviews about her struggles, Stefon stayed largely in the background, never pushing himself into the spotlight, but also never denying his connection to her. Fans took notice of this balance. Some praised him, saying, "This is exactly the kind of energy Cardi needs. Quiet strength, no clout chasing." Others, however, were skeptical. They warned Cardi not to fall too fast, not to hand over her fragile heart to someone who might not fully understand her world. But what people didn't see was the way Diggs operated behind closed doors. Sources close to Cardi revealed that he was often the one reminding her to eat, to rest, to take care of herself. During one particularly tough recording session where Cardi broke down in tears, Stefon reportedly stepped in, not to tell her to toughen up, but to simply say, "It's okay. You don't have to force it. Music will come when you're ready. Right now, just breathe." And that's the difference. Offset, in many fans' eyes, thrived on chaos. Stefon, by contrast, was offering calm. He wasn't asking Cardi to be Cardi B, the superstar. He was giving space for Belle Collies, the real woman behind the stage name, to exist. That's a rare kind of support, and fans couldn't stop talking about it. Meanwhile, the music began to take on new layers. Cardi's lyrics grew sharper, filled with raw honesty about pain, resilience, and transformation. She started openly discussing her divorce in tracks, not as a weakness but as a turning point. And sprinkled throughout, fans swore they heard hints of a new muse, a man who told her to heal, a man who gave her back her sense of self. The internet exploded with speculation. Was Stefon Diggs now not just her boyfriend but her inspiration? Was he helping shape the very album that could redefine her career? Blogs ran with headlines like, "From Heartbreak to Healing, How Stefon Diggs Saved Cardi B's Album." Some dismissed it as gossip. Others saw undeniable evidence in her newfound confidence. Of course, drama is never far behind. Offset loyalists accused Cardi of using Diggs as a distraction, saying she was rushing into a relationship just to get back at her ex. But Cardi clapped back in her own way. Not with words, but with actions. She kept showing up, kept creating, and most importantly, kept glowing. Fans began noticing that Cardi often referred to herself as a baby again when talking about Stefon, a striking phrase that suggested he didn't just comfort her, he made her feel safe. Safe enough to dream, safe enough to love again, and safe enough to finally face her pain head-on. And here's the twist that left fans holding their breath. Whispers began circulating that the couple might be taking things even further. Rumors of commitment, whispers of a future together. It was all building towards something bigger than anyone expected. As Cardi B's glow began to shine brighter, the whispers grew louder. Fans weren't just speculating about the music anymore. They were talking about the possibility of Cardi and Stefon starting a family together. And let's be clear, this wasn't just random gossip. It came from the tiniest breadcrumbs dropped on social media. Stefon liked to comment about being team boy. Cardi shared emojis of cribs and bottles. And suddenly the internet was convinced something huge was on the horizon. But here's where things took a turn. Insiders revealed that Stefon had started talking openly to friends about a Spanish name for their baby. Imagine that, a man, known for keeping his personal life private, suddenly sharing baby name ideas. Fans lost their minds. Was this confirmation? Was Cardi truly ready to bring another life into the world, this time with a man who was standing so firmly by her side? The speculation didn't stop there. Paparazzi photos caught the couple leaving restaurants hand in hand, Cardi in oversized jackets that sparked endless debates. Was she hiding something, or was it just Cardi being Cardi? And then came the moment that had everyone gasping. During one of Cardi's Instagram lives, Stefon dropped into the comments with a simple but loaded message. "Proud of you for staying focused. I'm 100% team boy." That single comment set the internet ablaze. Fans replayed the live again and again, dissecting every word, every emoji, every pause. Some saw it as a playful tease, others as a full-blown admission. And just like that, the rumors of pregnancy turned into a storm of certainty. But if you think the story ends there, think again. Because while Cardi's fans celebrated, not everyone was thrilled. Offset's name began popping up again, his camp allegedly frustrated by how quickly Cardi was moving on. One blogger claimed, "Offset feels replaced, like Diggs has stepped into the family role he abandoned." And though Cardi didn't directly respond, her silence was louder than words. Meanwhile, Stefon began showing his protective side in subtle but powerful ways. Reporters noticed he shut down questions about Cardi during press interviews, refusing to let her name be dragged into sports commentary. Fans interpreted it two ways. Some argued he was ashamed to acknowledge their relationship publicly, while others insisted it was his way of shielding Cardi from unnecessary drama. "He's keeping her safe from noise," one supporter wrote on X, "and that's the kind of man she deserves." And let's not forget, the timing of all this lined up perfectly with Cardi's upcoming album, Am I the Drama? Suddenly, this wasn't just about music anymore. It was about reclaiming her story, her love life, her motherhood, and her resilience all at once. Every lyric felt heavier, every interview felt more revealing, and every smile on Cardi's face looked like a silent answer to the question fans were asking: is she finally at peace? But here's the cliffhanger, the one detail that threw everything into chaos. Sources revealed that Cardi hadn't even told her parents about the pregnancy yet. Imagine carrying a secret so big, so life-changing, while the whole world speculates. But your own family is still in the dark. That revelation added a layer of tension no one expected. When Cardi B finally admitted that she hadn't told her parents about the pregnancy, fans were stunned. In her sit-down with Gayle King, she confessed that the thought of breaking the news made her anxious, almost like she was a teenager again, hiding from her family. "I just didn't know how they were going to react," Cardi admitted, her voice shaking. It was a moment so raw, so unfiltered that even Gayle paused, giving the rapper space to breathe. And for the audience, it was another cliffhanger. How would her parents react when they finally found out? But here's the kicker. Before anyone could process that confession, Gayle's team patched in a surprise call from none other than Stefon Diggs himself. Fans who tuned in were floored as his voice filled the studio, lighthearted but full of care. "Babe, did you eat?" he asked, completely ignoring the cameras, focusing only on Cardi. That single question melted millions of hearts across the world. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't a grand gesture. It was intimacy on display, the kind of intimacy Cardi had been searching for. The internet immediately exploded. Clips of the moment went viral, racking up millions of views within hours. Fans called it the most romantic thing they'd ever seen on daytime TV. "That man's love is healing her," one tweet read. Another fan wrote, "Forget roses and diamonds. Asking if she ate shows real love." But the story didn't stop there. After the show, insiders revealed that Stefon had been the one encouraging Cardi to be honest about her fears with her parents. He reportedly told her, "Let me heal you. Let me stand next to you when you tell them." And suddenly, the world saw why Cardi called him her rock. He wasn't just cheering from the sidelines. He was stepping into the trenches with her. Meanwhile, Offset's shadow still lingered. Fans speculated whether Cardi's hesitation with her parents came from not wanting them to compare Stefon to her ex-husband. After all, Offset's rocky past, their turbulent divorce, and his absence in co-parenting had left deep scars. Cardi, in her vulnerable moment, made it clear she was terrified of judgment, not just from fans, but from the people who raised her. Yet, the more the story unfolded, the clearer it became that Cardi was finally in a safe space. Stefon's consistency, his protective silence in the media, and his gentle gestures painted a picture of stability Cardi hadn't known in years. And the fans? They rallied behind her, trending hashtags like Team Cardi and Stefon and Healing Together across X and Instagram. As the episode wrapped, Cardi left viewers with a powerful statement. "I'm not perfect. I've been through pain, but I'm finally learning how to let someone love me. And it feels like I'm a baby again because I'm growing all over." Those words sealed the deal. This wasn't just a celebrity gossip story. It was a chapter of resilience, heartbreak, healing, and rebirth. And that's the beauty of Cardi's journey. From the lowest lows of her divorce through the depression that nearly broke her, to the moment Stefon whispered those magic words, "Let me heal you," the world has witnessed a transformation in real time. It's a love story, but also a comeback story. A reminder that even when the world counts you out, healing and happiness are still possible. Now, the only question left is this. When Cardi finally introduces her new chapter to her parents, will they embrace her joy? Or will another storm await? Fans are waiting, watching, and holding their breath. Because with Cardi B, the story is never truly over.